you so much for being with us this morning, Tyrann.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, before we get to the important stuff, we want to talk about something even more important. You announced your third annual Celebrity Kickball Classic taking place in KC this year on, I believe, May 16th. Tell us a little bit about it and tell us about your foundation.
Yeah, so May 15th, 16th, out here at T-Bone Stadium in Kansas City. I'll be throwing my third annual Tyrann Mathieu Celebrity Kickball Weekend. The last 2 years I've done them in New Orleans. It's been a fairly decent turnout. I feel like the next step for me is to kind of, obviously take it to Kansas City and let these people enjoy it. It's been such a great year, and I feel like the fans here have really been so supportive and encouraging. And I think the fans are a big part of why, we had a lot of success this year. And I think personally, they're the reason why, I have a lot of success. So, I think their support, their encouragement continues to drive, me, my foundation, and a lot of other guys throughout the league.
Tyrann, your foundation's great. The work you do for disadvantaged youths and financially disadvantaged youths is wonderful. You're teaming up with my friend, the high school classmate and good friend, Quentin Lucas, the mayor of Kansas City. I assume my invitation is in the mail or got lost or something, but I'll see you out there in the middle of May either way. I'm curious for you as a native Kansas City, and you've now been there about a year, your favorite spots. Everyone asks the best barbecue spots. We all know the best barbecue spots are Arthur Bryant's. But aside from that, some of you, in your year in Kansas City, some of your favorite things to do?
Really, man, I enjoy my family. I really enjoy my friends. I enjoy my teammates, being able to spend time with them. I feel like I'm in a really unique, position out here. A lot of my teammates are my neighbors. So not only do we spend a lot of time at work together, we're able to come home and, see each other in the yard, trying to do yard work, different things like that. But I feel like Kansas City was, for me. I feel like that was the next place for me, and it's been a great journey so far.
All right, Tyrann, as we dive into what the last month has been like, can you just take us through some of the highlights? I'm sure it's been kind of a whirlwind. Have you settled down yet, knowing that you can go to sleep at night as the defending, Nick makes me say it every day, Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I got to be honest. It hasn't really hit me yet, but obviously just to kind of reflect on the year we've had, the process. I remember at one point in time, we were 6-4. We weren't really good, and we was dealing with a lot of injuries as well. So I think to be able to overcome, certain challenges throughout the year and different adversities, I think ultimately that's why we were able to kind of, win that Super Bowl and come back in the fourth quarter. I thought we handled, our adversity the right way this season.
Tyrann, congratulations on your Super Bowl win, man. Greg Jennings. I just want to ask this question really quick. You're on a team with a lot of special players. If you win the Super Bowl, you got to have a lot of talented individuals. But to be named team MVP, like, you get a lot of accolades from the league, All-Pro, but to be named team MVP by your peers that you go to work with every single day, talk about that.
I mean, it means a lot to me. I think each and every day I wake up and go to work, it's really to make the people around me better, right? I want to build, my teammates up. I want my coaches to be able to trust me. But I think anytime you're able to win a team award, I think you're able to kind of sit down, reflect, and realize, how grateful and fortunate you are. It's a lot of great guys on our team, especially Pat Mahomes. But, I think for me, it was all about just handling, what I can handle. Going to work every day, being the right kind of leader, be willing to serve others, and then just be ready to have tough conversations, hold guys accountable. So I'm just so grateful that my teammates were really able to notice the efforts that I was trying to do this season.
All right, Tyrann, let's go through the playoff run, because these, I mean, I can quote it chapter and verse to you, but we've got some great clips of Patrick down 24-0 saying to the offense, make one play, just make one play in the opening playoff game against the Texans. I've also heard from players on the team, you were doing the exact same thing on the defensive side of the ball, while when it looked like, oh my God, the hell is happening here? What are you saying to your teammates? And we think about the 51 points on the offensive side of the ball, being down 21-0, but you guys basically blanked the Texans on the defensive side after struggling early. What are you saying to them, and how'd you guys turn that game around?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to, really focus on the next play. I really felt like defensively, a few of those plays were really out of our hands. But for us, it's all about coming to the sideline, regrouping, collecting ourselves, and then going out there and just focusing on the very next play. And I tell my guys that all the time, whether it's a good play or a bad play, just go to the next play. And I thought we were able to do that.
Well, now we'll skip the AFC Championship game, go to the Super Bowl. At what point in the Super Bowl did you feel like you guys had retaken control of the football game?
Probably really, somewhere in the fourth quarter. I felt like we came out, at halftime and we played fairly decent. I felt like in the fourth quarter we were still, really waiting to kind of hit our stride defensively. And, me and Frank Clark, we're going up and down the sideline. And, in our mind, we're running out of time. And I felt like our guys really stepped up, really put their foot down at the right time and was really willing to take control of the game, which in my opinion, I felt like the Niners had really controlled that game for about 3.5 quarters. And obviously, I feel like the fourth quarter, we kind of rose to the challenge.
So you guys end up coming all the way back. You take the lead. You're up 24-20. I, sitting at home as a Chiefs fan after Damian Williams scores that touchdown, if I'm being totally honest, and a defensive player don't want to hear this, I'm thinking, I don't actually hate if the Niners return this kickoff for a touchdown. Then Patrick's back on the field, down 3, and just end the game there. It's not what happened. It's 1st and 10. You're at midfield. It's the 2-minute warning. You're up less than a touchdown. It's the Niners are in the exact position they would have signed up for at the beginning of the game, the beginning of the season. During that 2-minute warning, one stop, you're champions. What's the conversation? What's the feeling?
Well, really just trying to, get a good idea of really what are they going to try to do to us. And we knew that obviously it was going to try to get the ball to Kittle. But most importantly, I felt like Deebo Samuel was their guy. And actually on the interception that Kendall Fuller caught, we had actually communicated the series before about that same route concept. We just thought that they were going to put Kittle at number 3 and try to force him the ball down the middle. But nevertheless, I think teams are going to do what they do well. I think defensively, you just have to be aware of what they're going to do.
So about 5 seconds after you guys won, people started talking about whether you guys would do it again and come back next year, because that's how it works in the sports media industry. Is there pressure on you with most of your core returning to roll this back, do it again, get back to the Super Bowl?
I mean, I look at our locker room, I go in there every day, and a lot of those guys don't really look at it as pressure, right? A lot of those guys just love to play football. They love to be out there, and I think that's what's special about this team. A lot of guys aren't necessarily looking for, the next award show to go to, or, what next commercial they can be in. I think it's more so about, what kind of plays can I make for my team? And so I think ultimately we're all grateful to kind of be around each other. But I think at the end of the day, we know, it was a good feeling this past February. And we're going to try to do our best to do it again, even though we know it's going to be really hard.
I want to kind of piggyback on what Jenna just talked about and asked. A lot of people talk about Super Bowl hangover. You hear that term often. Like, you're on a Super Bowl winning team. You have an opportunity, obviously a window of opportunity where you guys can do this again. What is it going to take, and what is the mentality? Like, what is the approach of not only yourself, but your head coach, Andy Reid, who this was his first opportunity or his first chance to win a Super Bowl and actually taking advantage of that. What is the mentality moving forward? What was the message after winning that game? What has been the message going forward?
Yeah, I think the message going forward, man, is to obviously, let's do it again, make another run at it. Like I mentioned, we understand how hard it's going to be, and even for me as a leader, it'll be twice as hard. But I think that's the challenge, right? Like, that's a responsibility you kind of take on as a leader of a football team. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the long days. I'm looking forward to the early mornings, and To be honest, Greg, it hasn't really hit me yet, so I'm not, even caught up in the hangover, man. I'm actually excited to get it going again, get it started again, and I think as long as your core players can feel that, I think you can get everybody else going in that direction.
Tyrann, I want you to do one thing for me before you go, which I'm not sure how comfortable you are with, but I'm going to ask you to do it anyway, which is talk about yourself for a second here, not just the team. You're one of the most relatable guys for a lot of us in the NFL, not the athletic ability, but the story. Someone who had a lot of promise, dealt with real personal struggles, had people doubt him, had people count him out. Then seemingly as you're getting over him, something totally out of your control, some injuries. And it's like, okay, now you're counted out again. You got grounded with your family. You turned into a real grown man and a real leader. And now you have, not that you don't have more to accomplish, but if you never played another football game again, you could say, man, I've done everything I ever could have set out to do. How much personal pride, I know you're not done, but how much personal pride and satisfaction do you take in all you've overcome and all you've already done at this point in your career?
I'm more than anything, Nick. I'm truly grateful, man. I'm grateful for, obviously God, but I'm grateful for the people that He's really put in my life. I truly believe that, we are who we surround ourselves with, and I've been really fortunate to be around some good people. Everybody don't have that same grace. So I think for me, it's about keeping those people in mind and realizing that, I'm not out here by myself. It's a ton of people that support me. It's millions of people that are rooting for me. And I think a lot of times we can kind of get in our head and get in a really dark place. So for me, it's about continuing to surround myself around great people with great wisdom and great love and great encouragement. And I think really that's how I've been able to kind of continue to fight my fight. And I think we all have a fight to fight, but I think my fight involves an army of, good people. And so I try my best to lean on those people.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, Ty. It's
yes,
really great. And thank you so much, man. It was the greatest moment of my life, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.